Details on that, please feel free to contact my office or, well, it may be posted on the internet, I'm not sure. John, John, where are you? I saw you walk, come over here, please. This coming Monday is Memorial Day, and we have had Memorial Day services here for, well, many, many, many years. And we are somewhat unique in our Memorial Day services. We actually have 3. And that's because we have 2 cemeteries and our memorial out front. So we make it a point to visit both the 2 cemeteries. And then we come here to Village Hall. And John, I noticed that there's some, John's the VFW commander?
Commander.
What did you guys, gentlemen, do this past weekend?
What it was is we have a Boy Scout troop that we sponsor. It's a joint effort with the VFW and the American Legion right here in Bolingbrook. And when we were out doing poppies, the Boy Scouts put the crosses to remind you of Memorial Day coming up. A lot of people come up and try to say Happy Memorial Day, but a Memorial Day is a sad day that where we honor our fallen comrades, and especially those that gave their lives in combat.
And the first service is?
First service is at 9:30. That's the cemetery on Royce Road there, Boardman.
Boardman Cemetery. Is you go off 53, if you go west on Royce or off Weber Road, go east on Royce, probably about in the middle. You'll see Paxton Drive, and if you turn left there, it's immediately on the corner. It's the Boardman Cemetery. The streets in that neighborhood are named after people that are buried there. Many settlers here back, 50, 100 years ago. That's at 9:30. It's a fairly brief service, but there is a service there.
And then at 10 o'clock, we move over to Barber's Corner.
That's Hillcrest Cemetery.
Hillcrest.
That's the one next to the fire station on Weber Road, directly across from Ashbury's, the Nine-Hole Golf Course. Again, it's a relatively brief service, but we have veterans buried at both those cemeteries, and we want to honor their memory for their service to our country.
And it's a special one this year there because of a very close friend of mine and a very close friend of the village. Leroy Brown is buried there.
That's true. And then we were coming here, again, mentioning Leroy. We built a Vietnam memorial out front this last year, and it was dedicated November 11th. Initially, the speaker was to be Deputy Mayor and Village Trustee Leroy Brown, who served this community for 25 years as trustee, 17 years as Deputy Mayor, and unfortunately passed this last November. And we dedicated the Vietnam Memorial in his memory, and when in fact he was supposed to be the gentleman at that service dedicating the memorial as a memorial, and of course passed before he could do that. Tomorrow, actually, we're going to be putting in place a plaque commemorating Leroy and his service in front of the memorial, along with a plaque by a tree we planted out front near the memorial, which is a oak tree, because Leroy would be best equated to the mighty oak.
Right.
So everybody will see those Monday morning at 11 o'clock. The service is here at the Village Hall. And at that service, again, I've never seen one like it. The names of people in Bolingbrook that served, that are no longer with us, or close relatives of those people here in Bolingbrook, those names are read by a group of 20 people.
20 people from the village here. The ceremony itself has been put together by a lot of people, to include Boy Scouts, American Legion, VFW, Girl Scouts, our village clerk, Carol Penning, who's takes a lot of the stuff and puts together for me behind the scenes. But there's a lot of people involved. At 6:30 on Monday morning, we'll be putting up the Avenue of Flags. That's when you pull out of here, you see the white poles up. Those are people that we've gotten flags from, and we'll have the cross with the names and the branch of service.
The cross, I noticed they're different color. Would you explain those?
Okay, up at the memorial itself, we'll have a cross to represent the Army, we'll have one to represent the Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard. And if you see one out there with a gold cross out there, that's one that was killed in combat. And we also have one up for those that are still missing, because we still support the POW MIA program, looking for veterans in other countries where their loved ones can have a closure to their remains.
And again, the services are 9:30.
9:30, 10
10,
o'clock,
and
and
then
11 right here at the village.
The 11 o'clock service will generally last about 45 minutes, but we'd like to see a nice turnout. Typically, we'll see 300, 350 people in a town of 76,000. I'd rather see 3,000, but I understand there's lots of things going on. And this year, I'm going to just tell you now, John, I have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter in San Diego who's asked for me to join her this long weekend, so I will be in San Diego. Deputy Mayor Mike Lawler will be representing me at the service itself.
I might want to add, too, up on the hill, and they do it every year for us. I'd like to especially point them out, is the Bolingbrook Police Department, Honor Guard, and Fire Department. And thank you very much for helping the support on that.
Thank you, John. Next, we have some awards to present for Arbor Day poster contests, and I see a lot of young faces here tonight. Hopefully, they're all going to win something. So Barbara Ann Parker from Beautification Commission will be chairing this, representing Phyllis Rosario, who is the chair of that commission. By yourself.
Yeah, I'm by myself. This year, we had 189 entries, and the 20 winners are up here displayed. We're going to do our coloring pages first, because they're our youngest group. And for the 3 to 4-year-old, first place was Dominic Judice, but we're also going to call up his brother, who was in the 5 to 6-year-old, who won 3rd place, Dean Judice.
I'll bet you live on Foxborough, don't you? Yes. Don't you wonder how I knew? Right there. All right. You're Dominic? Which one's yours? Up here. Okay. Push it around so you get a little FaceTime on TV. Here.